Corporation. It is Friday, October 20th, 2023. It is 9 a.m. We're going to start with the approval of minutes from the September 22nd board meeting. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, we have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve them. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I need to abstain because I was in
You
there?
are abstaining.
Okay.
Now on to the executive director's report. Dylan.
Great. So, a couple things to go over. I'm going to save some of it for the executive session, I think at the end. Yeah, probably best. Hold on, let me just find the right one. Oh, yeah. So, we have been making some really great progress on the Community Business Investment Grant Program. We'll get into some of those specific applicants here today in a little bit. But at this point right now, I think the total tally, Danae, we're like about halfway, right?
I think so, yeah.
We're just about halfway up. We'll pull up the final numbers before you guys leave, so you can all see them, but we're doing really well with that. There was an article the other day in the Troy Record, and if you all get a chance, please share so that people see that that's happening, because we'd like to try to target some more people at the Lansingburg, et cetera, places like that. So if you know anybody who's looking for facade work for their business, anything like that, it's definitely what we'd like to be able to do for people in the neighborhood. We have Max here. I think, yeah, it's not necessarily a negotiation. So let's talk a little bit about what you're trying to do at Northern Boulevard. I think it's really interesting. It's a property we've had for a long time, just so everybody knows. We had a couple of bites right before COVID, and then COVID happened, and so that kind of destroyed our momentum a little bit. So we've been sitting on this vacant property that's on a fairly prominent corner of Northern Boulevard. We'd like to be able to do something with it. So, yeah, Northern Boulevard. Max, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're trying to do?
Yeah, sure. So the project is attempting to get one of a cannabis process. And there's sort of other paths to licensure. We're trying to sort of conform ourselves to what the state is going to allow. So there's also the possibility of getting a different license category, the micro-business, which with like limited exception requires us to do our own cultivation and also the possibility of retail. Probably neither one of which, definitely not retail, would really fit with the site. We're doing the processing itself. The site itself was a 62 now under the new zoning.
Yep.
Probably the closest use category that fits us is rapid manufacturing, and sort of secondary one is like a research and development lab, and those are both like ready to go processing. In terms of what it would actually look like, so one of the big challenges is like working with gases. You know, we have like a safety and certification standard for ventilation and like fixtures and things like that. So probably the most effective, rather than like trying to train a construction firm here how to build that space, probably getting them as like prefab containers that are compliant, both for the gases and then for the manufacturing itself. It's called like a GMP manufacturing, basically like an FDA standard. Technically, we're using like the nutritional supplement category of FDA, so that's like not really a fit. It's just sort of this like pharma adjacent way of doing it. So basically, what that would look like a shipping container based architecture. Sort of start with like a modular pod, knit them together, try to sort of architecturally like make it buildings like Maris can. So the one thing that's currently up in the air as we sort of anticipate, or like we did a consultation about going before the planning commission. So like one outstanding issue is like security, typically like an opaque perimeter is part of the design. That could be like a little harsh up against the Northern Drive site. The standard for cultivation is an 8-foot tall fence. We're trying not to, the 8-foot tall opaque fence. So we're trying not to have to do that. We definitely don't want it to be like chain link with the green stuff. But it's sort of adapting, you know, there's like, it's like one idea we had for moderating it was like having the containers protrude outside the fence, but then to avoid like breaching the perimeter, that would mean like, you know, concertina wire or some other like physical obstruction on the roof. That's better. Those are some of the issues that we're like encountering now as we try to like put it here, make it make sense, and not have it like, that's like the essentials of the project and like where we're at currently.
Yeah, so we met with you a while ago, looking at a number of different sites. This one actually already comports with our zoning and our planning laws, so it's pretty nice. But the one problem, obviously, is there's not a lot of parking demand at all. You're gonna have a couple of people on site, right, at all times.
Yeah, maybe not all times, but yeah, like it really depends on like what rate we're running at. A lot of the labor is actually in packing, because like individually packing. Basically, like the overall process is like, hopefully, purchasing costs from elsewhere, doing it on our processes and our machines, and then doing the retail packaging. Because the final product is like a very kind of viscous and tacky wax material, it hasn't really been effectively automated. So a lot of that labor is packing labor, which is like a good thing for that neighborhood, because there's like labor supply around, and can sort of integrate into the neighborhood that way. But yeah, it's sort of like are we gonna have like a buddy here, you know, for the first 6 months or whatever until we get it running? Is it gonna be like 20 people, you know, in 2 or potentially 3 shifts? I mean, that would be like a good problem to have, but I haven't been able to get over there to check out the parking on 7th Avenue. Northern Drive is like out. It doesn't seem like there's
There's no room to park on the street there.
No.
Although one of the issues, you know, we came with the initial site plan, and like 8 spots is now too many for the current zoning.
Yeah, you actually have to reduce the number.
Yeah.
Reduce the number of spots you provide.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, Corliss Park is like, you know, 100 or 200 yards from there. Like the main bus line, that main north-south bus line stops like
Yep.
a quarter mile or less down the road. So there should be some ways to adapt and get people in without having to be like bus cars.
Let me make a suggestion that we speak to the neighborhood before anything sort of goes out, because I think it'd be really important to have you at a neighborhood meeting, kind of talking. Especially because they're quick to fill in gaps of information with might perceive as being something else, but kind of close. You know, the information isn't out there, but there's enough out there, I think, that there's gonna start being some speculation soon, so it's like to avoid speculation.
Yeah, I've heard about like the wave of vape shops, and then like at the commission meeting Wednesday, you know, like people will have real problems. I'm not sure if it was a vape shop per se or like convenience stores that were previously developed, and now people remember the same developers, and they're upset because, yeah, they have real problems.
And everybody's read about what happens in New York City right now, so it's like, I know, it's not making anybody's life easier. So, yeah, thank you for that. So, we don't have anything to vote on today on the table, but we are hoping to sort of accelerate negotiations for the, either a lease. It's gonna be complicated essentially because he needs to have absolute control of a property, either through a signed lease or through an actual deed of the property by the time he submits an application, and the application is due December.
Yeah, they just extended the window, so one of the complications here was like trying to resolve, SECR,
Seeker.
Trying to resolve it like before we actually execute a lease, for example, so that, the closing of the application window wasn't gonna hit a second planning commission meeting. It still isn't, but it was just extended 2 weeks. Originally December 4th, now it's, 4 plus 4, now it's the 18th or something like that.
Okay.
Which is like almost, but not quite enough to catch a second planning commission meeting. Although now that they've extended the window once, yeah, they could easily do it again.
It's a slippery slope. It'll be July before they actually close it, yeah.
Yeah. So and even if we were, like I said to you, but I'll say it again here, like even if we were to miss this window, it's still a promising enough site for us that we wanna, you know, make it happen. And part of the structure, I won't get too deeply into it, but part of the structure of what they're trying to do, or saying they're trying to do for this application window, it's clear they're gonna be forced to open up additional windows sooner rather than later.
Right. Yeah, thank you for that. And if it doesn't work out, you can always do decaf coffee, right?
Yep, coffee, lavender, there's like a lavender farm,
Yep.
There you go, man.
There's one.
There's always ways to make this work. I did not know, by the way, that decaf coffee is made the same way as hash oil, but apparently it is. Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a oleo resin paprika. It's not exactly the same salt, and I think these hexane. But yeah, like a lot of like spicy chips and things like that.
I love spicy chips.
You'll see it way down on the list of ingredients. Yeah, any spicy chip with like that orangish red color, that's probably oleo resin paprika, but yeah. Butter and do the same thing.
Lots of opportunities for cross collaboration for you there. Yeah.
Regular eco.
So that's some of the new business on the table. We have budgets to talk about. Is the budget attached here?
Yes.
Awesome. So there are a couple of things. Matt, do you want to be able to go in depth into the budgets now, or do you want to, we don't want to do it during his financials, right? We should probably have a separate conversation about that now.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Stage is all yours, bud.
For budget. So, kind of kept it simple this year, kind of kept the same as what we've been doing in prior years. Moved a couple things that I didn't think were gonna happen this year, moved them forward a little. But kept most of the, fees the same, slight uptick in professional service contracts, just kind of estimating based on prior years, general services such as accounting, legal, that good stuff, audit. Rental and financing income consists of just our normal National Grid monthly bills, county waste rent, and I included BSN in there, although, as the board is well aware, they're a little behind on their monthly payments. And really, main points, I did add, in talking with, Dylan, you'll see, $4 million in grant revenue, and then $4 million in grant expenses that cover the projects. I might have those, especially in the grant income, it might be in the wrong slot, but we are projecting $4 million in grants. I'm not sure the name of a state, or federal or public authority, right, so that might just need to be changed, but.
So that's related to the geothermal project, which we are waiting on the countersigned agreement from NYSERDA, so that's the one thing that is keeping us from making it a nice, it's the one thing that's keeping us from making it a nice press event, but very soon it'll happen. What we're gonna probably be doing is having a separate account, right, for income and expenses for that, so we can track it separately.
Yeah, so since it'll be like its own kind of company, it'll be a different set of, general ledger accounts and all that, own company, but related to the LPC.
Great, and then once we have financing in place for that as well, it'll be easier to work off of that.
Yeah.
Cool. There's also, we'll talk more in executive session, but there's also the possibility about revenue from sold assets, things of that nature, so we should certainly be talking about that.
Do we need a motion to approve the budget?
Yeah, I believe so.
Do we have a second? Second. Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. Great. Thank you, Matt. On to Armstrong appraisals.
Yeah, so, we had, 4 appraisals done for the, updates to the appraisals done for the property down by, King Fuels. That's King Fuels itself, the land is vacant. The vacant land that's north of King Fuels, right across the 4 acres that are right across the Winans Hill from King Fuels on the southwest corner of it. And then Sperry Warehouse, which just had a fire, apparently. And then, it's okay, it's out, but, and then, the Waste Connections / County Waste parcel as well. So all 4 of those have now been updated appraisals. They came in significantly lower than our last appraisals for some reason. Well, one of them did, the King Fuels did, because they don't count the value of the building anymore. And they're only looking at the current, situation with environmental remediation not being done, and they won't assess it as, or appraise it, sorry, as being remediated, even though National Grid is starting remediation there. So it's something to keep in mind. But this is all part of a larger sort of conversation that we're having, that hopefully, we can discuss today. So we need $11,000 to be able to pay for those appraisals. Each one is, I think, $27.50. And this is an update to a previous appraisal done, I think, in 2015. Might be 2017.
What was the purpose of the appraisals now, prior to remediation?
To do an evaluation of the actual value of our collective portfolio.
Okay, so that was part of our plan, to basically evaluate.
Due diligence.
Due diligence.
Yeah. We need something updated to work on.
Okay. How much difference was it?
I'll give you the
Percentage.
exact breakdown,
Yeah.
but the one that went down the most was King Fuels, because there was a $900,000 evaluation on the valuation on the building itself. So that was completely left off, because the building is now being seen as in the way of development. So it is what it is. The Sperry warehouse site came in at like 365, I believe. The one that was pretty good was the parcel across the river with the Finance Guild. That came in, I think, at like 565. And then the Waste Connections is a whole different bag of worms. We're keeping that one for ourselves. So you can share all that information if you like.
You need a motion to approve?
I don't think so. I just need to mention it within a minute.
Right.
Yep, and that's it for the commercial report.
New business, that concludes.
Oh, new business, yeah, thank you.
On to old business, we're gonna go through the community investment grants, round 4. We're gonna start, so this meeting, this is our first round where we're going project by project for approval.
Yeah.
Thanks for updating that.
Well, Danae, thank you, Danae, for the resolution.
We have some attendees here from representing some of these businesses. We're gonna start with 212 4th Street. And if anybody is here or on Zoom that would like to talk about the project before we go into the resolution.
Chris. Yeah, Chris is here.
Yep, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, just wanted to give a quick update, a little additional color to the to the application. So the project is basically building out a vacant single-story commercial space, utilizing a collaboration with myself and Corey Aldrich, with diverse backgrounds, mine being engineering and STEM related, and Corey Aldrich being an event planner and involved in the arts locally, as far as the various events like Opelka Beer Garden, as well as the arts bar and things like that. So the idea is to create a hub in Little Italy that's a community event space, also opening it up to additional small businesses that want to do art pop-ups, yoga events, things like that on a periodic basis. So that's the the basic overview of the parcel and the project. So I don't know if anybody had any questions or anything related to that, but I'm certainly glad to answer anything.
What's the square footage?
700 square feet.
And Chris, is that a change from what you originally proposed when you purchased the building off the foreclosed property list?
Nope, that's the same as the initial proposal. The idea was, if you look back at the initial proposal, it talked about doing like a parlor series, which is a speaker series related to STEM and the arts, as well as doing pop-up events and community related events.
Any questions, comments? Do we have, so the resolution is for authorizing the award of, on this project in particular, it is, $50,000. The total project cost is estimated to be $100,000 for to approve the grant for 212 4th Street.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Do we have a second?
I can second, right, because even though I was on the selection committee, I don't think it makes sense. Yeah.
I'll second it.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone.
Sorry, I'm out of order here. The next project is 216 4th Street. This is the Fazio's Italian Market. If is anybody here to represent them or talk about the project? Otherwise, if not, Dylan, do you want to give a quick overview?
Sure. So now everybody's been aware of what's going on in Fazio's, the new Italian market. It's going to be really exciting. They're very, very close to opening at this point. Due to certain delays because of material costs, and they've gone through the gauntlet to get this project done. And as a result, they could use a little bit of help with their cooler, and they could also use a little bit of help with their furnishings, I think there's tables and chairs and things of that nature that are going to go inside. All of that is an eligible expense for the grant, and so we're happy to help them out because this is actually going to get them to a ribbon cutting. So this is it. We're finally going to get there. So this is exciting. This is exactly what the grant is for, is to help people either open their doors or expand their business or start new services. This should be big for that entire block, and it's going to be adjacent to the one we just approved for Chris. So again, we have this thing where we seem to be consolidating our shots here into one area, which obviously has it extrapolates the total, exponentially greater effect on the neighborhood, so.
Do we have a timeline on when they expect to be done? Because I know that's going to be asked of me.
Yeah.
Many times.
I'm just anxious to know too. I would ask you that.
That is the right question. So, I would love to tell you that I do, because I do, but I don't want to speak out of turn in case it's changed. But my guess is that it's going to be available and open at, being conservative, at the beginning of next year.
Okay.
Great.
It always seems to be the answer.
I did, yeah.
What's the
I didn't
answer
say what
last year?
No, it'll be open.
Great, well, thank you, Dylan. Do we have a, motion to approve the, resolution for the authorization of funding for DeFazio's and Sons at 216 4th Street?
Is this also 50,000?
Yes, sorry, also for 50,000. Everything that we're
All of
looking
them,
at
okay.
today, I believe, are all $50,000, yeah.
Little table exhibit.
Can I get the motion? Do we have a second?
I'll
There you go.
Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. On to 417, 425 River Street, Brown's Brewing. Again, if anybody is here from Brown's Brewing or on Zoom that would like to talk. Oh, great. You just want to go over a little briefly about the project that you have planned?
Sure. I'm Gary Brown, Brown's Brewing. And, I should probably just make it known that we purchased the building, our buildings on River Street, after a 17-year hiatus of ownership, of the properties. Rev Hall, the buildings to the north, are in desperate need of a new roof. I was trying to get the former owner to do that for about the past 10 years, and we just patched, so I bought the building back. Now I'm looking for some help to get that project done. It's about 5,000 square foot of roof. I've got a quote in the package from Skyway, who I'd like to use. I've used them. They did the pub roof years ago. They did our buildings out in Hoosick. They're a great company. They're Troy. They originated in Troy, as a matter of fact. But anyway, there's a fair amount of stabilization in the structure up there, and we got, pull some roof deck off that has gotten damaged and so forth, but the real money is in the roof itself. It will also involve some modern insulation, which it has none. So we're gonna get, I believe it's an R30, and that'll obviously impact our energy use over as we develop the rest of the building over the next few years.
It's good to have you back in Troy.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you repurchased this building, thank you.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad. It was okay, but it was not the same, so, yeah.
The plan worked perfectly, then he brought you back, so.
Exactly. I got my two daughters are well into the business now, and that's given me a lot to, work for, so.
That's great.
It's good to hear.
Not to mention the mortgage with Pioneer.
I just want to point out, this is the second roof now we're doing on that block, so again, consolidating our grants, and I think it's having a positive effect, so.
Awesome. Well, do we have a resolution for approval of the, Toast of the Hudson LLC? That's what the mural is. Got it. Sorry. 421, 425 River Street.
So moved.
County, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. So approved. Congratulations. Okay, on to second to last, 680 River Street, the Ale House.
Like to stand up?
I know roofs aren't very glamorous. I'm also
There's plenty
the
glamorous.
couple. As you know, the Ale House has been there forever. I've been there 33 years. It opened as a saloon in 1885. A lot of architectural detail in the brickwork up top needs attention. The bay windows above the front door were redone with some grant money probably 25 years ago, but are in need of repair, painting now. I recently confirmed that it has operated continually as a saloon since 1885. I always suspected it continued through Prohibition, but the Luby family, who owned it like 50 years, confirmed that they never stopped. They had a uncle that was a police captain or chief. He made sure they didn't get busted with alcohol during Prohibition. We follow all the, just want to make that clear.
Thanks, Brian.
So we're just looking to, stabilize the building. There's a lot of brickwork. The parapets have to be rebuilt before the roof goes on. And then with future plans to expand in the vacant lot just south of us to have an outdoor space, we really suffer in June, July, and August because everybody wants to be on Gary's deck. I don't really have an outdoor facility, so that should help, that little summer lull that we have should take care of that.
I'd like to also thank Brian for his service on the selection committee. You've been also working, this obviously is not a conflict because you've recused yourself from your own vote, obviously, on your property. But he's been instrumental in helping us get these grants out the door. Of course, he voted against Browns, just so you know, but. Okay. No. So thank you for everything that you've been doing. Really, it's been a great project because of the fact that guys like you have been here helping us every month.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for 680 River Street.
Great. Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Great. On to,
Thank
yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
On to 885 Fifth Ave, Cassis Roy. Do we have a representative here, or would you like to review it, Dylan?
He's not here? Okay, so this is, Al. He's the guy that purchased the gas station between Fifth and Northern Boulevard in Lansingburg. He's gonna do a lot of really cool stuff, actually. He's putting in, fresh produce that's gonna be there, as well as the idea of getting drive-through groceries, which is kind of cool. He is going to have some outdoor seating areas, a couple different things. It's not just your typical gas station. It is obviously costing him a lot of money, and he asked for a little bit of help with some of this. What's nice is that we have the ability to talk with him about some of the green infrastructure that we're kind of interested in. I think he's open to a lot of it. So things like charging stations, stuff like that, we'd like to help him with. But this is going specifically not to the gas station portion of it. It's going towards the building itself and renovations in the building.
Field Sunoco Station,
I don't know if it was Sunoco before, but I think it might be.
Jensville property?
Yeah.
It was Jensville, okay.
It was the one that's all the way on, in northern, like a
Yeah.
triangle there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. We just washed the streets for them, didn't we?
We were trying to.
Yeah, okay. I thought we did a pretty good job at it.
It didn't really happen. There's infrastructure issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this yet. There's a 0 on the scorecard.
Yep.
That's the first time I've seen that in the rounds.
Yeah.
It meets the score. I want to make that clear. I have no problem with it. I'm just curious if there's was there any musings from the review committee that make a difference in this?
You actually have the person who put the 0 in the room at the moment, so if you'd like to ask.
Just nothing, is there anything that we should be aware of if we're...
Everyone on this committee has the opportunity to put their thoughts into their scoring. There's not a specific, you don't have to adhere to anything specifically, but there are categories. And I believe that Brian's concern was that there was going to be a gas station component to the project, which is a little bit different than what we're doing, right?
I didn't really understand the proposal, to be honest with you, which is why I didn't score it.
That's fair. I just want, as long as there's nothing that brings, I don't have any other questions. I just want to make sure there was nothing outstanding about it that needs to be brought up.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, I didn't know if it was a typo, just unusual. It's the first one we've seen with that, so.
I thought it was a fair score, considering that you didn't.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Great. Do we have authorization to approve the 885 Fifth Avenue Casablanca project? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Any? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Great. Okay, that concludes old business. Congrats everyone.
Thanks, Brian.
to, Investment grants round 4. We're gonna move on to financials.
Our first report, statement of financial position. As of September 30th, we had total assets of $3,899,731 with $244,555 in cash. We had total liabilities of $1,725,914, which left a fund balance of $2,173,817. There's no significant changes to the statement of financial position for the month of September. Our last report is the statement of activity. For the month of September, we had a deficit of $19,547. Most significant source of revenue was the monthly national license fee, and the largest expense was the legal fees.
Thank you, Matt.
Any questions or comments about the financials from Matt? Anything else? No. Do we have a motion to approve the financials? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Great. Okay, we're gonna ask any of the guest attendees today to please step out. We're going to enter an executive session discussion.
Motion to.
Oh, we need a motion to go into an executive session to discuss, South Troy King Field site.
A negotiation.
Negotiations. For the South Troy King Field site. And, do we have a motion? Any? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You guys don't mind stepping out? Okay, we're out of executive session. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Yes. All
Yes.
in favor?
Aye.
No, great.
Thank you.
So,